Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bencavanga, host of 5 Minutes With. This week, I am so pleased to have my guest, the founder and executive director of Gift PGH, Rochel Tombosky. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. And I wanted to change things up a little bit this week and get back to the real roots of what I wanted to do with this show, which is really discuss issues around equity and the people that are here building better communities in the city. And so, of course, I've been a big fan of your work and with Gift PGH. And for people that may not know, can you explain what GIFT represents and how it began?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's an acronym for Giving It Forward Together. I advocate for the senior community.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I realized is when seniors get older, they tend to drift off out of the community, which makes them feel a lack of sense of purpose and meaning. So GIFT is all about getting the seniors back into the community, getting refocused and giving them a sense of purpose again. And so I figured if we get children and the community involved with seniors, and then the seniors get involved back into the community, we're giving it forward together.
I love that. And can you talk a little bit about why it is so important in this moment with everything going on with COVID, with sort of this economic downturn, with the election? Why is it important to sort of reconnect to these kinds of roots and support people in communities?
So, my experience, I say BC, before COVID.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, it's gonna go into the history books, BC,
Yeah.
before COVID. My experience is, our senior community, that demographic, like I said, very much is sometimes invisible.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group of people that are not as active anymore, and so we don't tend to see them. And so if we don't see them, then unfortunately, it feels like they don't really exist.
Right.
And so I don't know that people really understood that concept BC before COVID, but I do think that now when a younger generation or everyone is experiencing kind of that same feeling of being in home, being stuck, not being able to see family, not being able to give hugs and that interaction that we're so used to, we can get a small feeling of what our senior community feels like in general. And of course, right now during the heat of COVID, our senior community is most affected.
Yeah.
And most of our older seniors don't have that real understanding of modern technology. And so whatever like anxiety that we have wrapped around COVID, can you imagine even more so when you're a senior and then you don't even have like an outlet,
Right.
So I think I'm really hoping that people will now really understand the importance and the need to support our seniors in their physical and mental well-being.
And that makes total sense because you have a group of people that are traditionally more isolated than ever before. And then you put this pandemic on top of it. And now it's just not even safe for people to be around them. So I can't even imagine that level of just internalized stress brought on by isolation. But it hasn't just impacted the ones that you're serving, it's also impacting your volunteer base. So how are you working around that so that people can still connect to the senior community safely?
Yeah, super challenging. I'm not going to lie. So a lot of what GIFT is all about is engaging our seniors. And obviously that came to a screeching halt as soon as COVID. Our seniors are locked up in their apartment buildings, in their rooms. And prior to COVID, we were doing a weekly intergenerational program where kids from high school age up were working with seniors every week on doing community work, giving back to the community in a real way. and that's had to stop. So yeah, we had to reinvent this whole idea. How do we tap into our senior community? How do we get our volunteers to still be involved? So I actually partnered up with Chatham University with their PT students, and they have around 25 PT students that call seniors every single week in their homes, which is safe,
Yeah.
and just have a conversation and just another voice to remind them they're not alone, we're here, and this is safe.
I love that. And if people are feeling inspired, which I know I'm feeling inspired just talking to you about your programs, what are some things that you have coming up around Thanksgiving and into December if people want to support the organization?
Yeah, every year, since GIFT started in 2015, we have done one of our, I would say, one of our bigger projects, which is Thanksgiving to Go. I realized, I guess I woke up one day and just realized, we have all these homebound seniors in their homes, and maybe they can't afford to go out and get food for themselves. And maybe they just are week to week. And they can't participate in a meal. So I created this little kit. It's called Thanksgiving to Go. It has food in it. It has a traditional Thanksgiving meal in it. But what's really important to me is not only to serve our seniors in their physical needs, but in their emotional needs. I just realized that, and I think this speaks to every age, right? Like, when we feel good, emotionally and mentally and like spiritually, we also physically feel better. And when we don't feel well mentally, we physically don't feel well either. Right. And that doesn't change when you get to a certain age. It doesn't change when you're 60, 70, 80. That still applies. So GIFT is so centered around focusing on the well-being, the mental well-being, and the emotional well-being of our seniors, so that they feel like they want to go outside. They feel like they want to do things, right, and participate. So our packages don't just feed the physical aspect of Thanksgiving. It also is the joy of it. So we also provide presents and gifts inside that they could use and make them feel good.
I absolutely love that. And as we wrap up this 5 minutes with, I was really connecting with that message of sort of intergenerational hope and recognizing we are all in this together and we all need one another. So what is a message that you would like to put out there on behalf of GIFT PGH for the months ahead for this country? What are your hopes?
Yeah, I think, with, I guess, our conflict in the environment that's around us, I think it's really important for us to refocus and realize there are so many opportunities to do amazing things, to really be kind and considerate. I think it's static when we get overly focused on the negativity and then not refocus ourselves on all the good. And there, along with GIFT, there are so many beautiful organizations in our community to participate, and I encourage people, if you're going to get out and do something that's going to help somebody else.
I love that message. Rochel, thank you so much for spending 5 minutes with me. I so appreciate you and the work that you do.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Have a great one.